We got another episode here at Top Related, man. Your boy No Joke. Your AKA Yoda. We got my boy Maul up in here, man. So let's get started, man. As usual, per usual. Um, NCAA recap. What's your recap of this past week of college football?
The first topic we're talking about going to get into the Ohio State Penn State game.
No. Just your recap. Just your recap in general. Just your recap in general. Week 7 recap. What's your week 7 recap?
College football.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty good. With we basically predicted all the games that we thought right. We predicted Notre Dame beating USC. We predicted
Yeah,
Bama.
predicted that.
We predicted that. Didn't see Dion and them losing like that. That was pretty shocking to me. What was they up? They was up 29-0 and lost Friday night.
At
So
half, yep.
that was pretty crazy to me. What other big game was there this week? Oregon
North Carolina.
and Washington. We predicted Oregon and Washington. We predicted that to be a close one. That was went down to the wire. That was a huge game. That's pretty much how my for the recap for that past week.
For my recap, I did predict Notre Dame beating USC, but I did not think it would be that bad. Caleb Williams had his worst game that I've seen him play at USC so far. I think 3 interceptions in the first half. 3 interceptions in the first half. Um, just looked totally out of sync. In that game, I thought their defense played fairly okay. Um, just as far as like there was moments in the game that Notre Dame just was not scoring. It was like a couple of drives in a row that they went straight 3 and out, but USC could not connect on the offensive end. And eventually, um, Notre Dame could score. I've been saying they could score. I've been saying that I believe and still high on Sam Hartman, and they got the job done, man. 48-20. Um, just a total. It wasn't a close game to me ever really. To be honest with you, it wasn't really close. I know they probably USC got in between a touchdown at one point, but it wasn't really a close game to me all game. Um, who else played? Washington
Oregon and
versus
Washington.
Oregon. Um, Oregon with some very very questionable questionable play calls. As far as deciding when and when not to go for it on fourth down, um, which ultimately caused for Washington to have great field position on their last drive, which ended in a score. And you know, this is an 8-7 game, so um, I know people are really high on Washington, and I still am. I still like Washington. I'm high on Washington myself. But as far as where they rank, it's as far as the top teams in the country, and as far as possibly making it to college football playoffs, we just don't know that yet. In my opinion, Pac-12 teams have not proved to be able to compete in the college football playoffs. So I mean, we shall see. This is week 7. You know, there's still a lot of football to be played. In terms of the rest of the season. But let's get into this week. And we got a couple of games here. First off, we got Ohio State versus Penn State. Um, a game I've been looking forward to because I've been talking about Penn State. I've been, low key dragging Penn State, right? Because I just don't
Yeah,
think they're ever
yeah.
really. I don't think they're ever really that good, and I don't think they ever really. I'm not gonna say they don't compete because they've had a couple of close games with Ohio State in the past. But it just seems like they can't get over that hump of beating Ohio State and Michigan. It seems like they struggle with that. I know last year they really got blown out in both of those games, and I just want to see them put up a fair, well. I want to see them compete in this game. I want to see a close game. I want to see them really test Ohio State. I want to see them put Ohio State on their heels. I know they play at Ohio State, so it's a tall task, as said. But like we've been saying, do we still truly trust in Kyle McCord? And do we still really do we still really trust 100% in Kyle McCord? This isn't CJ Stroud they're going against this year, so they get sort of a break. But how good can Kyle McCord be in this game, and how much can Penn State limit him in those weapons that Ohio State has? I'm very curious to see what they show, and if they don't show up, I don't think they will. I will have them as a top 10 team, and I don't think the committee should even reconsider putting them back in the top 10 if they don't show up in this game alone. Um, as far as Ohio State, uh, Kyle McCord, just get the ball to your playmakers, bro. You have them. You have them all over the field. There's talent all over the field on the Ohio State offense. We haven't seen them in a game like this, or just a game as far as true competition since what, the Notre Dame game, right? So yeah, I'm looking for a big game out of Marvin Harrison. I think he has to have a big game, right? I think that him or Mecca has to have big games for them to be successful. Now they proved they could win without him having a big game, but one of those two have to have a big game, which I think they will. Um, and like I said, Kyle McCord, do your job. Not really too worried about Ohio State's defense. They're going to be good at times. They might struggle at times. I don't, expect Penn State to light them up on defense. I think their defense is just it's a decent defense. You know what I'm saying? They have a decent defense. Like they aren't too great, aren't too bad. You know what I'm saying? They're mid. They're very mid, which is not saying like I'm not saying that they're not. People say mid these days, and it comes out as a bad thing. No, I think they're proficient defense. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts, Small?
For Ohio State, Penn State, huge game, man. Playoff implications on the line. Neither quarterback has played in the big game like this yet. I would have to give it a little edge to Ohio State because in Ohio State, I think it's going to be a close one. But whoever loses this game, it's not the end of the world because they still have a big schedule. I mean, they still have to play Michigan, both of them, and they still got the Big Ten championship. So it wouldn't be the end of the world, but like it'd be good if one of these teams could win it. You know what I'm saying? That'd take like a little target off their back. But really, my takes on that one. I'm excited. I would have to give a little edge to Ohio State just because it's in Ohio State. But I like Penn State. I've been high on them all year.
Um, right. I don't. I think. I think. I don't think neither of these teams can afford to lose this game. If we're just talking about them trying to make it into the college football playoffs,
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
I don't think neither of them could lose this game.
I'm saying maybe
I
they
don't
might still have a chance, like a puncher's chance, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, some things will have to happen, obviously, but obviously we don't see two teams coming out the Big Ten, right?
Definitely.
So I mean, this is a big game for both teams. This is a game that neither teams can afford to lose. Now, look, I would love to see Ohio State lose, but I mean, man, this is a tall task for Penn State. Something they haven't been able to do in years, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know they have a new quarterback in Drew Aller, and he's a freshman, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, he's a freshman, right?
Yeah.
Been really good for them as a freshman quarterback. Uh, oh no, he's a sophomore. My fault. He's a sophomore. We have not seen him play in a game of this magnitude at all this year. I mean, I think the closest game was maybe Iowa, but Iowa. I mean, Iowa. Like, okay. I mean, they're not Ohio State or even close. It's the level of Ohio State. Um, I like the receivers, man. I really that's what I do like about this team. Um, I like the receivers. I love specifically the name I'm looking for. I love specifically. I'm looking for his name right now. Keandre Smith. I like Keandre Smith a lot. I think he's one of the best receivers in the country, personally. But yeah, man, let's just. I want to see what they do. Enough talk about Penn State. I don't have too much on them. I just want. I'll be watching them closely this weekend, and let's see what they do. I've been talking a lot of Mets. So shoot. Hopefully they prove me wrong. All right, Alabama versus Tennessee. Seems like Alabama's on an upset brink every week,
Mm,
right? Seems like Alabama's on the upset brink every week, right? Like this is a thing. Like they want
here
to
we
see
go.
Alabama lose every week, right? And here's another game, man, where I don't think people are really questioning Alabama. I think most people feel like Alabama will win this game, but it's still okay. This is a team obviously that was able to beat them last year. Okay, so this is a big game for Alabama. This is revenge war, revenge season. Um, not too high on. I think Tennessee's offense is really shaky, which isn't great going into this game versus a really good Alabama defense. I think Joe Milton has been a bit. He's been streaky, and I personally didn't expect that. I thought he would be really good this year. I like what I've seen from him at the end of the season last year. Um, but I think this game is one on the line of scrimmage again. Um, can Alabama's offense protect Milrow? Which I mean, it's been shaky, but I mean Milrow's been playing fairly well. He's been playing really well in his last three games. This offense is getting better and better week in and week out, and he's getting better week in and week out. So I mean, you never know. We might see a much better version of him this week than we've seen the last 2 weeks. Um, as far as Alabama, establish a running game early. Um, establish a running game early so you can open up for big plays down the field. Seems like offensive coordinator Tommy Rees is starting to take more shots at teams than he was at the start of the season. So he's gaining more confidence in his receivers, his offense, and overall his quarterback. Uh, Alabama's defense has been dominant to me. I think they've been really, really good. You know, limit those big plays, man, from Tennessee, because that's what Alabama lost by last year when they played Tennessee. Tennessee getting these huge big plays down the field. It wasn't really them just exercising the full possession on offense and just breaking Alabama down. No. They were running straight down the field. I mean, I know that offensive I know that offense is tricky, man. It's an offense that is a different style of offense that he runs down there in Tennessee, that they run down there in Tennessee, and coverages can be confused. That's what I feel. I feel like it was a lot of blown coverages watching that game last year. Obviously, they don't have your boy. What's his name? What's his name, Ma? Uh, he's in the NFL now. He's not there no more. I'm missing the
Okay.
name, huh?
For who? Tennessee?
Yeah.
About the quarterback?
No, the receiver.
Um,
I'm missing the name, bro.
yeah, I forgot man's name too.
I'm about to find it right now because I need to tell. I need to look. I'm actually gonna look. This is what I'm gonna do. Let's go back to 2022, and let's just look at his numbers against Alabama last year, just to be clear on what he put up versus Alabama last year and why they lost. And they lost in a very close game, a game
He
that
went
went to the end of
crazy.
end of regulation. This guy played, I mean, probably his best game of college football last year against Alabama. Yeah, Jalen Hyatt,
Yeah,
six receptions for 207 yards and five tubs.
he
I
went
think that's
crazy.
Yeah, I think that's crazy, bro. And obviously they don't have that deep threat no more, and they don't have Hendon Hooker. So I think that, man, if Alabama comes to play, man, they could widen this margin. We want to see obviously them take off, man. I think everybody wants to see them take off and win some of these big games. One some of these big games at home by a fair margin, like they are used to doing. So man, I'm looking forward to that game. What's your thoughts?
Um, I think Tennessee's offense took a step back. I don't think they're explosive without Hooker. Um, I don't think they're the same team like you said. I don't think the defense is the same from last year. And like you said earlier in the show, I think Alabama's on a revenge tour. So I think Alabama should really handle them in the trenches, and if they play their A game, I think they got this team. I don't see them beating them again for a back-to-back year in Alabama. That crowd's going to be rocking. I just don't see it happening. I
Right.
got to.
No,
I'm
I
going
definitely don't see it
I'm
happening.
going to take Bama.
Yeah, I definitely don't see them. I don't think nobody sees them winning this game. I don't think a lot of people have them winning this game. It's just all about the fact that, Tennessee was able to give this team issues last year, which I think the defense is actually better than it was last year. But thoughts on Florida State versus Duke.
And mm-hmm.
And I've been talking about this game, bro. I've been talking about this game because you know
Number
me.
one is you think we're gonna lose? We ain't losing to them.
I don't think that. Look, I'm not going to clearly just come out here and say that I think you guys will lose. I just think that this is a game that you know I feel like they give y'all. I think this team. I think this Duke team gives y'all fits. I
Yeah,
do. Um, Florida State has. I mean, other than that game versus LSU, which LSU hasn't proven to be that great this season. I mean, they obviously haven't fit well in the expectations, which they was a top 10 team in the country when playing against this Florida State team earlier in the season. But just in the big games, they haven't had a whole lot of them. I mean, I think the last biggest game that Florida State played in was versus Clemson, which was at Clemson, which we all knew that would be a tough game to overcome. They overcame it, and it was a really close game. That was a game that went to the net. As far as Duke, I want to say Riley Leonard should be playing in this game. Um, is Riley? Yeah, Riley Leonard. I
I've been
think he
hearing
should
that.
be.
I was just looking at something, and they said they don't know yet.
Yeah, and
I don't know if he's playing.
that's big. That's
That's
big coming
huge.
into this game. That's big coming into this game. I don't think Duke has a chance without him on the field. Um, I know he did not play last game, but if he is, he hasn't played since Notre Dame. So if
Yeah,
he is able to be on the field this game, I think that Duke can possibly give Florida State fits. Um, primarily just because just by their on the running game on the ground. Um, you know, Duke has proved to be really good on the ground. Um, Riley Leonard is crazy. Riley Leonard has led them in rushing, and this is why he's so big. He has led them in rushing, and they've had played 6 games so far. He has led them in rushing 4 out of 6 games so far. Currently this season, that's leading them in passing and rushing in majority of their games. So that just tells you how big he is, and he's dynamic, man. He can throw, uh, he can run, and that's what makes him so dangerous is that he will take off. He could take off at any time, and it's kind of like you don't know which is he's gonna do because he can really do both. Um, Now as far as Florida State, man, their offense is clicking at the rate that we've seen them click before. I mean, I don't think this is a game. But Duke defensively has been pretty good this season. I've been really, really impressed by Duke. Primarily just watching them play against Notre Dame, I was really, really impressed. Um, they put their defense on the line out there for, I feel like they made calls on offense that put the defense in tough positions. And the defense connected majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? Really, really, really good front seven. Really strong pass rush, but they'll throw like 11. They'll throw like 10 guys out there just to rush uh the quarterback out there, and I mean they do pretty well, and their back line secondary does well in coverage. So this would be an interesting game if Riley Leonard plays. If he doesn't play, I don't think this is a game. And I mean, this is at Florida State. It'll be hard for them to win either way.
yeah. I don't think this Duke team is the same class as Florida State. I think Florida State is a little better. They got better athletes out there, but I don't know if Riley Leonard is playing. If Riley Leonard is playing, I give them a puncher's chance to beat this Florida State team because Duke is one of them teams that's really scrappy. They play hard in the trenches, you know what I'm saying? And they're not going to quit, you know what I'm saying? You see what they did to Clemson earlier in the season. They played Notre Dame close. It came down to the last possession. But I don't, like you said, if Riley Leonard isn't playing, I don't give them a chance to win this game. I think if both teams play the A game, I'm still have to take Florida State. It's in Florida State, and Florida State know what's at stake because they know if they lose, they're not going to the college playoffs this year. That'll ruin their chances. So I think they're gonna get up. This is the first big game they had since Clemson. They didn't show up really that big in that game. So I expect this Florida State team to finally come back out. I hope Johnny Wilson comes back this week. He was out last week. And we really need him on the offensive end. And not only is our front seven a monster, this team is top 6 in the country in offense. You know, they're just putting up points. Travis is playing really well. Coleman is playing really good. Vincent. So I'm really excited for this game. Hope they go out there and handle business. And I hope they come up with a stronger performance than they did versus Clemson. My takes on that.
I don't know if I agree with you, bro. In terms of them just not being the same class as Florida State, I think Florida State is a better team. If that's what you're leading into, like, yeah, sure, they're a better team. But we've seen Florida State struggle in a couple games this year with teams that should have not been up to their class. They have struggled in a couple games this year. I mean, Duke only has one loss in a close nail biter to Notre Dame. I mean, like, I just this is my thing, bro. Florida State has all the talent in the world. We know this. But I've been saying this, bro. I don't trust Florida State. I just don't trust them, and I don't have a reason to trust them. Why would I trust them? Florida State always flops, right? I mean, this is what
How
they
we flop?
do.
It's a different team.
What they do, they flop every
This
year. I
ain't
mean,
the same team.
oh
We
my
ain't won 6 in a
god,
row since 2015.
y'all
This
have
ain't that.
not. Who's your 6 in a row against?
We beat a team in your conference, LSU, who's ranked 6 in the country.
LSU's not ranked 6 in the country
They were
currently.
6 in the country when we played them.
That doesn't matter. The committee
They were
doesn't
6 in
care
the country when
about
we played
that.
them. Why does it
So
matter
do
who we
you?
play? These are
What's
college teams. We're beating who in front of us.
as a Florida State fan? What do you want to? Where do you want to see Florida State at?
In a national championship.
Okay,
To
okay.
win a natty.
So to make the
And we
national
got the best.
championship,
And I,
they have to make the college football playoffs, right?
all we got to do is run the table.
Okay,
We run the table.
fine. But fine. Let's say they don't run the table. Let's say they have a loss, which is very possible. Let's say they have a loss outside of the ACC, right? And it comes down to resume, right? The committee is the LSU win won't hold that much weight because I believe by the end of the season LSU might not even be ranked. And that's what matters. They don't count that. They don't
We're
count
not
the
worried
committee.
about that.
The committee doesn't count.
The rest of our games.
So in terms of your resume of wins, it's not that impressive. Then that's what that means. Like in terms of strength of schedule and resume, huh? It's not that impressive.
For us, that doesn't matter because we're gonna run the table. We're not losing another game this year. We're running the table.
I don't believe that.
I know you don't. I know you don't. We're running the table.
I don't believe that. We're gonna look. This Duke game will tell me a lot. I mean, if Riley Leonard doesn't play, obviously I said it isn't a game.
Like, oh, not that good.
No. If Riley Leonard doesn't play, then this isn't a game, bro.
I don't want no excuses. I hope he do play.
Now, if he does play, I think this is a game. I think this will possibly be a game and a good test for y'all. I think this is a great test for y'all. We, as a Florida State fan, you should want these games. You should want to play better.
We ain't running.
Y'all haven't played nobody since the first game of the season. So I mean, look, we love to see the game. This is a team that dominated. They did dominate Clemson 28-7.
Riley Leonard don't want to come back versus that front seven. He don't want to come back this game versus that front seven. He might.
Clemson
seemed to be talking to Riley.
Clemson seemed to play pretty well against it. They blew out Clemson 28-7. Y'all did not. Y'all struggled against Clemson.
That's all right.
But
Hey, we
look,
got the same thing as
look.
them, a dub.
So look, this is a game for y'all. I mean, y'all play Miami. I think y'all play Miami this season. I mean, and then y'all play at Florida. So it's a couple more tests for Florida State. Do I see them getting through all of them? No. But hey, look, the Florida State fans are just like Dallas Cowboys fans, delusional.
Oh
But
my
look,
God, help me.
um, we gonna move on to the next topic. Uh,
Yeah.
let's get into the NBA, man. So it's been reported that your boy James Harden is on the loose again, man, missing practices, missing preseason games. Um, dude, and currently word is that he's in Houston right now. I
Yep.
find that
They practice
interesting.
again today.
I find that interesting. I wonder what he's doing in Houston. That's number one, but number two, what do you think happens with James Harden? Does he eventually get traded? And if he does get traded, where does he land?
Uh, for Harden, man, it's the same story every year, man. He's not really a difference maker anymore. He never really played defense. Never. He's never happy wherever he goes. He was in Brooklyn. He wasn't happy. Forced his way out of there. Forced his way out of Houston. Um, I don't know. He done lost a step, man. I don't really matter where he go. I'm trying to think of landing spots where I could see him. I know he want to go home to LA, go to the Clippers, but I'm not giving up a buttload for James Harden. I understand where he's coming from too with Daryl Morey because Daryl Morey did promise him his money. You know what I'm saying? James Harden in this situation, I understand where he's coming from, and I'm not a big James Harden fan, but Daryl Morey did promise that man his money. He didn't stand on his word. So now he wants out of Philly, but landing spots. The only thing I can see is they like parting ways and him signing with somebody. I don't see nobody trading and giving up big aspects for James Harden no more. But I actually would want him out of Philly because I'm high on Tyrese Maxey and I think he's holding Maxey back. So I don't really know what landing spot. I really don't care where he goes because wherever he
I,
go, he's gonna try to be out next year anyways. He never happy.
um, this is a guy that still makes a lot of money. I think that
Yeah.
it's just with the offer that the 76ers are throwing out the teams right now. They're asking for a lot, which I think they should ask for a lot. Um, I think it's less about James Harden and more about his player option. You know what I'm saying, and his contract, which makes him much more valuable um, as a trading price. Also, just this, not showing up to practice and missing preseason games so far. I mean, he's gonna do this. We've seen him force his way out of Houston. Um, we've seen him force his way out of Brooklyn. Kind of like a guy I feel like that throws temper tantrums every time he just doesn't get his way. That's what I see. Um, I understand he's mad about he didn't get promised what he was supposed to be that what was he looking for, a contract extension or more money, right? So I just don't think I think that he had a good year last year. Primarily James Harden isn't he's been a guy that's led the league in assists before, but he's truly known for scoring. If we're really talking about James, like he's really known to put the ball in the basket, which he hasn't done at a high clip the last 2 years. I know last year he averaged roughly around 20 points. But he did lead the league in assists. Um, how beneficial is that for Philadelphia, especially in the playoffs where we need him to put up points, man? And he just didn't. He was not impressive in the playoffs, and we've seen Philly come short. Shoot, they ain't there every year, man. Philly comes short every year, and has not been any better when James Harden's there. Like you said, he's missed a step so far. I mean, he's not the same guy that he used to be. He's not as explosive. That first step is what stands out to me. Um, how you separate yourself off that first step. He does not get that much separation anymore. Obviously, he's still a smart player, really skilled. He can still play. I still got a lot of game, but yeah, he's definitely missing the step. And as far as him wanting to go to the Clippers, I feel like it's the Sixers asking price right now. What they're asking for back, which Clippers have enough assets to get this trade done, but like you said, going back and touching back on what you said, are they willing to give up what needs to be given up to get him? I don't think they are willing to do that. To get James Harden. I mean, I think they have a good enough roster already. The Clippers do. Clippers Clippers have a good enough roster right now already to make something happen, but will they? I don't know. They seem like they never are able to. And I don't think that gets any better with James Harden there. Curious why he's out in Houston. What is he doing in Houston? Like, are you out there because you've been talking to the Rockets, or are you just out there just having fun? And that's been part of his problem. I think the last 2 years is, man, just seeing him, out just having fun with little baby during the NBA season, and just not seems like. I'm not here to question him as a professional athlete, but just seems not to be taking. I'm just saying what it looks like. Just seems not to be taking his profession 100% seriously. So, um, he got some things to work on for himself. Um, Personally, I don't think that the Sixers trade him at this point. If they do, they do. But man, he's gonna have to sit tight and work it out, man, over there, man, and stop pouting. I hate seeing dudes cry over stuff like this, especially him. It's something that the NBA does not. It's something that the NBA has let him get over with multiple times. Is why I said that he won't get over with it this time. But let's get into this topic. Let's talk about Kevin Porter, man. This week he was traded. Uh, Traded. I'm
And
trying to I'm trying to
OKC.
I'm trying to find the trade exactly and see what both sides got. Um, they traded him
Got him the
for
same
two future second round picks. The Rockets traded him for two future second round picks, and the Rockets will acquire Victor Oladipo and Jeremiah Robinson Earl in a deal that will send a 2027 second round pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves and a 2028 second round pick to the Bucks to the Bucks to the Thunder. Thunder will waive Kevin Porter immediately, so that's leaving him as a free agent, and he won't be on the team. So as that is going on, his ex girlfriend recently has come out and says he didn't hit me. There's no, pretty much there are. Let's see what she said. Um, she has no. She said, "quote that I don't have any injuries to support that. He definitely didn't punch me in the face numerous times. That's a lie. Um, I think they dropped one of his assault charges. After acknowledging that he didn't fracture her vertebrae, but he still faces charges of second degree strangulation and third-degree assault, to which he's actually pleaded not guilty. Interesting. Um, Man, look, I don't want to expose too much here. Clearly, Kevin Porter Jr. has always been rougher on the edges and seems to, go through a lot of situations that have nothing to do with on the court. You know what I'm saying? I've had a couple off the court issues throughout his career. Personally, I've heard some stuff myself that I'm not going to get into. Like I said, I'm not going to really get into it. But man, I think it's interesting her coming out and saying these things, saying that now he didn't hit her. Uh, Interesting, right? Interesting when
Mm-hmm.
his contract is on the line, and you know what I'm saying, he doesn't have one currently, and he's fighting for one, right? He's fighting to stay in the league. He's fighting for a contract right now, and this probably something that she didn't really think of before her sister came out and made those comments that she made, as far as what she can get out of him being in a contract right now. I think that benefits her. Is why I think that she's coming out and saying these things. I don't think it's out of love and support and her riding by him through that situation. I think it's more of, well, what can she get if he does get a contract, you know what I'm saying, and is making money again for, a team. So I find this interesting. I don't know if this helps him. He's still facing charges. For me personally, I think he's done right now. That's me. What I mean, I think personally, I don't think he goes anywhere. I don't think any teams want to deal with this. I don't think any teams want this on their hands. I don't think he's been good enough even for a team to even put this on the line for him. What's your thoughts on it?
With his girlfriend coming on the same, he didn't hit or anything like that. I don't think that like really affects his future because I think the narrative on him is already written. He even at USC had a lot of off the court issues. Like you said, you know some stuff, but you're not going to expose that. But I don't really change the opinion. He got traded from Houston to OKC. They cut him the same day. So if a young team like that won't deal with him, what makes people think like they'll bring him into like a veteran team like Golden State or something like that and bring him in? If the teams like the Thunder, young teams like that not dealing with him, I don't think nobody's gonna deal with him. I think he's pretty much done. But don't get me wrong, he's a tremendous talent. This kid is really talented. But as of right now, I think it's gonna be really hard for him to get back in the league, man. After this,
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, he is really talented, pretty good player. Like you said, a lot of talent, bro. Like a lot of talent. He could be, man. If he had his head straight, man, he could be a lot better than you know what he's actually been so far. I don't even think that his statistical number speaks for his talent. But man, pray for that guy, man. That's all I say.
yeah, man.
Um, let's get into the NBA top 100 evaluation. I'm on my way to look at that right now. I will share my screen.
Okay.
Let me find this. Let's see. Um, and I'm not. We'll try to get through it, bro. I don't want to get involved with the whole top 100. Actually, we won't. Or actually, we'll go 15 to like we'll go 15 to like I think what 10.
Yeah.
Okay, actually 20. We'll go 20. We'll go 20 to 1. We'll go 20 to 1.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm I'm not gonna look at all of these guys in the full top 100. Let's just see what they have from 20 to 1. A lot of controversy here, obviously. Um, I think the biggest controversy is this SGA being ranked 9. I'm looking now, they have John Morant at 35, which I just think is ridiculous. It's no
Insane.
way
He was just
that
top 10
there's
last year.
34 players better than John Morant. There's no way possible. Kyrie at
No.
34, there's no way that there's 33 players better than Kyrie. And he's been low the last, like, dude, what do they base these off of? Like, what is this based off of? Production?
All opinion based.
What
You
is
gotta
this
go.
based off of, bro? Like, who makes this list? Kawhi outside the top 20? I don't agree with that. I know he hasn't been a reliable player to be playing. So at 20, let's share my screen. Let's share my screen. This is frustrating to even look at. Um, pretty frustrating, but let's share my screen now. So 20, we have Carl Anthony Towns, which I feel is debatable. I think it's debatable if he's a top 20 player. I mean, numbers wise, what do you think? What do you think about the Carl Anthony Towns? Because
Who they
They have him
top
over a couple
mid.
guys, bro. I mean, you have him over a couple guys. That's all I'm gonna say. They have him over a couple guys that he shouldn't be over.
They got Anthony Edwards in the top 20, right?
Mm.
If they don't have Anthony Edwards on there, I don't even want to hear
So
that.
Jaylen Brown was at 19. I'm not gonna say much about that. I think he's a. I think definitely he's a top 20. I'm just debating if he should be higher. Paul
Yeah.
George. Paul George. How is Paul George ranked over Kawhi Leonard in the list? I'm curious. So how is
They
Paul
both
George?
injury. They
Oh,
both
well,
injury.
he's been more available. Is that
They both
what's
injury prone. Mm,
like, dog? What the heck, yo? Come on, man. Jamal Murray, 17.
I don't like that either.
You think he's higher?
Yeah.
I think
Hey,
I
let's
think
say,
I
do they
think
base this on
playoff.
a regular season or is this like
I don't
postseason? Like,
know. I think it should be based off the whole scope. Me personally, I think it should be based off the full scope. He was 50 last year. Look, his NBA rank was 50 last year, which is crazy. Well, no, he
insane.
came off an injury, so he actually moved up a lot of spots. Bam Adebayo, I don't have Bam Adebayo over neither of the guys that we just named, Jaylen Brown or Jamal Murray. Um,
Nah.
This is interesting. He moved up. He was 23 last year. He moved up. What's that? 7 spots? How? Like I'm trying to figure out how what they based this off of. Donovan Mitchell at 15. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think John Morant. Let's be. I don't think this guy is a better basketball player than John Morant or Kyrie Irving, which they have in the 30s. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do they base these off of production? I'm curious because if just production wise, I think that it's. I think aren't both of those guys that I just named better than him production wise and statistically? Um, yeah, I think they're both better statistically. I'm not gonna really get into teams and who they play for because I mean, Cavs, did they even get out the first round?
No, they lost to the Knicks.
They didn't get out the first round. Memphis is a better team than Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, I know Kyrie got traded to the Mavs last year and they didn't make the playoffs. Damian Lillard at 14. I'm gonna question this based off who's in front of him. I'm gonna really question this. Let's see who's in front of him. Let's see what they got. Okay, Anthony Edwards at 13. I could live with that for now. I could live with
Yeah.
Anthony. Hey, I could live with Edwards being in front of him. Jimmy
Jimmy.
Butler. Yeah, I could live with
Yeah.
that. I could live with that right now. As of right now, yeah, I could live with that. Devin Booker. I live with
Yeah.
that. I think Devin Booker's a top 10 player, but
I do too.
hey, I mean, I guess. Let's see. Oh,
I
this
don't
is
have I don't have Shy over Booker.
okay. Now let's get into the top 10. I was just here. I was just here. So let's see. This is the top 10. 10-1. Anthony Davis, I agree with that. I think Anthony Davis is a top 10 player.
Yeah.
I think he could be higher than that if he's healthy, personally. And if he's consistent.
If he play whole season.
If he plays, yeah, I think
Yeah.
he could be higher than that. Um LeBron James at 9, I think he's too low. LeBron averaged 30 points last year. In his 18th season. I think he's too low. I think he's too low, personally. I think he's higher than this. Um This I don't agree with this, bro. I don't agree
I
with
don't
this.
like this. I don't like
The,
this.
how? I'm just how his team didn't make
Over
the
LeBron
playoffs.
and AD, over Book.
Yeah,
Come on,
come
man.
on,
This
bro.
dude's never been. He's been in
He
one
never
playoff
he
series.
never even played in the playoffs, bro. He hasn't been. Oh, he probably has with the I think back in
He
his
played
Clipper
with the
days.
Clippers. He played one his rookie year.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with this, bro. I don't even
Yeah.
know how they come
But they
up
going
with
because he
this.
averaged 30 last year. He put up 30 on a bad team. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't no
No,
30 point a game scorer on a good
he's
team.
not a top 10 player, bro. He's not better than a couple of guys we
He
just talked
cannot lead.
about.
He cannot be a best player on a championship team. Come on,
I don't
man.
think he's better than Anthony Edwards. I
No, I
personally, I
don't
don't
think
think he's
he's
better.
not better than Booker.
He's
Come on,
not better
man.
than John Morant. He ain't better than.
No,
It's a couple guys, bro.
no,
Like, come on, bro. I'm not rolling with this, and he's definitely
nah.
not better than LeBron. This is crazy, bro. This
Yeah,
is. I don't. Well, how do they come up with this? My question is how they come up with this. Kevin Durant, at 7. I don't think Kevin Durant was better than LeBron James last year, if you ask me. Now, which is interesting about Kevin Durant is regular. If we're just talking about regular season, right? He's still a 50, 40, 90 guy, which is highly impressive, yes. But man, if you just watch the game, if you just watch basketball, right, you've seen that Kevin Durant seems to really struggle at times, man, and at times he hasn't looked like himself. You know what I'm saying? Specifically the playoffs just last season against Denver, he was forced to put up big numbers at times, yeah, but there was plenty of times that he looked like just like not Kevin Durant. And first time, and I think in the last 3 years, right, that we've seen Kevin Durant get locked up in series, which I've never seen before. So he's drastically declining. I think LeBron was more impressive than him overall last year. Just Steve's regular season and playoffs. Now you could look at percentages and say that you beg to differ, but if you watch basketball, right, I think that LeBron has been more impressive than him. I don't know if he's better than AD, right? No, I'll put him over AD. I'll put KD over AD. I just think LeBron's better right now. Jason Tatum at 6. I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this. I don't. I think that he could be a top 5 player. If he has to come through in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He has to be consistent. Which he
I
was
don't
pretty
I
consistent.
don't I don't like this. He should definitely be he's top three. He's the top three. I got take your pick with Jokic or Giannis top two. Either one.
um,
I
if
got him
we're just
third.
going if we're just going off last season, we're going off recency bias. I don't think Luka was better than him last season, and I think like that has to be biased, bro. Like, look,
Yeah, man.
Luka's a great young player, and I think that he's one of the best players. Obviously, he's a top 10 player, top 5 player. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I don't think that Luka was better than Steph Curry last year,
You know,
or
well,
even guys like
they got Embiid third, right?
Jason Tatum. Yeah,
No.
they got
Em-
Joel Embiid third. I could live with this right now. I could live with Joel Embiid being third right now. I mean, MVP, right?
the season he had last year.
Yeah, I could live with this.
And then
Um,
with the top two, you could take your pick.
Nikola Jokic at 2. I think Nikola Jokic just won. Just you gotta give him that respect, bro. What he did his thing last year, bro. He did his thing. I thought he was the best player last year. I think he deserves to be one. Giannis can't keep going out early in the playoffs. I'm sorry. I'm not stalling him, bro. I'm just not.
He
I'm not
got
stalling.
hurt.
I'm not stalling him. I
He
don't
was
want to hear it.
hurt. Don't do
He
that.
didn't play like 2 games, bro. Like I am not stalling him. But
That
didn't
was
they get
two games
swept?
that they needed.
Didn't they get swept or something like that? Like didn't they win one game in the series?
They lost in six. No, lost in five.
Boston Five, they near almost got swept, bro. I'm not stalling him no more, bro. Outside of that finals run they have not. The Bucks haven't been impressive in the playoffs. I'm not stalling you, bro. I'm holding you to the same standards I hold everybody else to. You don't get that treatment, bro.
Oh
I
my
don't think
god.
he's one. I think he should be. I personally will have him 3 on my list right now.
What?
Yeah,
What in the world?
below Embiid, yes, below
Hey,
Embiid.
he gonna remind you this year.
Let's see. I hope he
He
does.
gonna remind you
Remind
this
me,
year. He gonna
remind
remind you this
me,
year.
remind
They gonna
me.
watch. He gonna get a ring.
Okay, enough, enough there.
Let's move on to the NFL.
All right, man. So, 49ers, man. Finally, somebody was able to do it, man. Give them give them issues, man. In a game where you know, Deebo Samuel got hurt, a game where McCaffrey wasn't out there significant amount of time in the game. Um, it was decreased on Purdy was decreased on weapons. Um, kind of was able to take Ayuk out the game a little bit, and George Kittle. So defensively, so this is where you give this team issues, right? It's always gonna be it's gonna be defensively, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be defensively. Like I think Brown's pass rush is up there like top in the NFL. I think their pass rush is vicious, and it showed this. It showed this is this week, and Brown's not even having their starting quarterback out there, and having a quarterback out there that was really roughly shaky, which really they gave the 49ers a lot of opportunity, bruh. And this team was still able to do get it done. So shout out to them. Um I don't think this was really on Purdy that much. I don't think the offensive line protected him that much, which we really haven't seen before. I don't think the offensive line gave Purdy. I don't think they gave him enough chances. You know what I'm saying? Like that defensive line of the Browns was getting back there with no regrets. So I mean, yeah, shout out to the Browns, man. Impressive performance from them. And I think 49ers in the future will be fine. I mean, I'm not really
Yeah,
too worried about them losing this game.
yeah. Um, I think for everybody out there on this Brock Purdy bandwagon, I think they need to slow down and talk about he's a elite quarterback, MVP quarterback. People gotta understand Shanahan is a great swimmer. He made Matt Ryan the MVP of the league. He had Jimmy Garoppolo win 75% of his games, took this team to the NFC Championship game, and took them to the Super Bowl. Purdy's a great game manager. You know what I'm saying? If he got great weapons, he don't got to turn it over. He controlling tempo. You know what I'm saying? He handling the ball off McCaffrey. He's a solid quarterback, but I think people need to slow down with all this because you see when he didn't have his weapons. You see when he had McCaffrey and Debo, he didn't move the ball not one time. And you got to give credit to this Brown defense, which I think is the best defense in the league. Myles Garrett and them was living in that backfield. They make it a lot of quarterbacks look bad. Everybody who they played so far, they be having them in the game. But if they do make the field goal, they win that game. 49ers are still a top two team in the NFC. In my opinion, hasn't changed on them. They're still really good. They slipped up and had one, but the team is really good, man. It's a team that could potentially win the Super Bowl. That's how good they are. And that's really all I have to say on them. Do make that kick, they win the game. Purdy did take him down to get him a field goal range. He just missed the kick.
Hey man, not too much on Brock, bro. Not too much on Brock. I never thought he was gonna be MVP.
Nah,
I
me
don't
either.
know where that came from
He's
anyway.
solid.
I
He's
never
solid, but
thought
he
he was
ain't.
that.
Yeah,
He's a good quarterback though, bro. He's a good
a good
quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah,
He's a good quarterback, and like
yeah,
I
he
said,
is.
I mean, it's not too much that he could do in those situations, but throw the ball away, man.
Exactly.
Especially with I think 49ers, some of their better skill players out there that was out there, like Ayuk and Kittle struggling this game. So I mean, he doesn't have that much to work with. Just so cut him some slack. The Eagles, man. I didn't watch this game, so I mean, I'm gonna let you take the floor. But like I said, it was coming. It was coming, bro. Like I said, they've
Yeah.
been in a lot of close games. A lot of close games that I feel like they shouldn't have been in. I feel like Hurts has struggled at times. He hasn't been great. You know what I'm saying? And look, I think that's what it came down to this game. I think what did Hurts throw 3 interceptions this game?
Three.
Yeah, 3 interceptions this game. So I mean, I'm gonna let you
He's
take the
second
floor
in
on
the
this
league
one.
and he's second in the league in interceptions behind Jimmy Garoppolo. He got 7. Garoppolo got 8.
Been struggling this year,
Uh,
bro.
man, the Eagles have not played up to their potential all year. They've not looked like the same team that they did last year. Even the 5 wins that they have been ugly. Um, but this all comes down to what I've been saying for the last 5 weeks. The offensive coordinator is trying to make him a drop back passer, and that's not what we do. We're not leaning on the run game. This team doesn't have an identity. Last year, I knew what we was going to do from play to play. I knew we was going to run the ball, get play action with Devontae and AJ. He got her come over the middle. Now this dude runs. He throws the ball 40 times a game, and he only runs 12. We have no balance. And I've been saying this since week one. Now everybody this week is saying, "Oh, they don't have no identity." I've been saying this. I like none of the wins we've had. Um, we're 5-1, so we'll take it. But we got a big test this Sunday night versus Miami. That got a lot. The game got a lot of implications on it. I'm excited to see that. I think we're gonna come out and run the ball. So I think
Better come to play.
Miami, yeah, because Miami has Super Bowl aspirations too. So I think that's gonna be a huge game for both teams. I'm praying that we come out and run the ball because if we run the ball, we'll be fine.
Feel
We
like
got
I feel
that.
like they're gonna have to put up points this game.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. And but see, if we can run the ball, we can keep the ball away from Miami. Because
Hmm.
also we've been struggling in the slide. That's what they've been putting, moving Tyreek around the motion and having him in the slide. You know what I'm saying? So our backfield been a little shaky this season too. So we're gonna see how this game play. I'm really excited. This is our biggest test of the year. The schedule about to start getting harder for the Eagles. So we're gonna see how they look pushing towards the second half of the season.
Hmm.
You got it.
Okay. Trevor versus Herbert. We was having this conversation. I think a couple days ago. Who's the better QB
Yep.
right now? I'm gonna still lean towards Herbert, just cause consistently he's been better. I mean, it's still early for Trevor Lawrence in his career, right? He had a rough, I think had a rough rookie season, but
Yeah.
we knew that he would be better, moving forward. Made the playoffs last year, man. Actually took the Jaguars farther than I thought they would get. Um, Now I think that he has the weapons right now to be successful, and he's going to acquire more weapons. So far, I mean, he's been pretty good. He's throwing more yards than Herbert, and um, 1,439 yards. Herbert is throwing, roughly around 100 some yards less, and 333 yards. Herbert's throwing more touchdown passes this year and has less interceptions, while Trevor Lawrence has thrown 7 touchdowns and 3 interceptions with a lower QBR than Herbert. Um, Now I think that Trevor Lawrence is making his way. Like I said, I won't put him over Justin Herbert just yet, but he's definitely making his way. And I feel like the Browns have been pretty impressive as of recently, right? Um, a pretty
The
fair
who?
dominant win. The Jaguars have been pretty impressive, right? They are,
Yeah, they 4-2. They play tonight
yep,
actually.
yeah, they're four
They
and
play
two.
Thursday. They play. They play the Saints tonight on Thursday night.
Just as far as looking at the last 2 games, though, pretty fair dominant performance from them last game against the Colts. And then against Buffalo, that's a great one against Buffalo. While you know, to, I think man, he had an amazing game. I think Trevor Lawrence had an amazing game that game. 315 yards, 25 for 37, 1 touchdown. Um, he got sacked a couple of times, but I think that was a great game. A great game. The last 3 games have been really impressive. I've been really impressed with what I've seen from the Jaguars. One thing about Herbert is he hasn't been able to get this San Diego I mean, this for Los Angeles Chargers team over the hump, like you said, and he has plenty of talent over there. I mean, at some point we're gonna stop stalling him for being mediocre every year, right? So right now, like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
no
gonna take
doubt.
Justin Herbert right now. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Trevor Lawrence potentially.
Yeah. I think people stop putting Herb on the pedestal. He got all the physical tools to be great. He got a big arm. He's 6'6", you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't win the big games. He hasn't done it yet. Um, he got all that talent over there in LA. Every year they're picked to be Super Bowl contenders, and they don't have a division championship. They haven't won a
Super Bowl
playoff.
contenders is a little bit
Yeah,
over the wall. I'm not
they
gonna lie.
haven't even they haven't won a playoff game yet. Like Trevor in this debate. Trevor has actually won. He's actually won a playoff game, and he actually beat Herbert. He brought them back last year versus them when they blew that. What was the score? It was like 20? What was it, 30-0, something like that? They was blowing them out in that playoff game on Saturday night. That Saturday night, and Trevor actually brought them back. They wasn't running the put it together, and he brought him back. He balled out. He outplayed Herbert in the playoff game. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's first place in his division right now. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to win that division over there in the AFC South. So not AFC South, in the AFC. Then AFC what? AFC. They in the division with the Colts and Texans. That's in the AFC South. What is that? The AFC might be the AFC South. Yeah, the AFC South. Yeah, I'm right. But Yeah, I got Trevor in this. Until Herbert start winning the big games, man, he got a little talent, But right now, I'm gonna take Trevor.
Okay. You gonna take Trevor right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Trev. I got Trev. I'm gonna roll with Trev.
Okay. Um, I think that's the end of for our NFL topic. I know you gotta go.
Yeah, I
Um,
gotta go to practice.
all right, bet. I'm gonna finish off with this last topic. Um,
Okay.
all right, bro. We'll see you, bro, next week. We'll
All right,
see you
man. Be
next week,
safe.
bro.
All right, big
All right,
dog.
bet. All right, man. For our last topic, man, I wanted to get into the boxing segment because as I've said before, I'm a big boxing fan, and we have a big fight coming up early December with Regis and Devin Haney. They just recently had their press conference as of I think that was yesterday. I want to say that was yesterday, yep. And it was pretty heated, man. A lot said on both sides. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been the biggest Devin Haney fan, man. I think he's really cocky. I think he's a soft boy. I know that sounds crazy. I just think he's a soft boy, like a soft boy that acts hard, kind of just based off just him being a boxer, and you can hear it when he talks. He has his dad behind him heavily, and we love dads, man. We love supportive dads, but I think his dad talks a little bit too much for him. Um, as far as resume, man, I think a lot of people talk about Devin Haney's resume, man, and I'll get into his fights real quick. Um, Devin Haney, in my opinion, had one of the easiest bouts for the undisputed that I've seen in my years watching boxing. I could name a couple fighters that wish they had that opportunity that he had against Kambosos, and a couple fighters that would have won, right? So if we're just talking about his two fights against Kambosos, um, was not. I think I expected him to win those fights, man. I think Kambosos isn't that good. I don't think he's that great of a fighter. I think I'm not gonna say he got lucky. I don't believe in luck that much, but um, I think that he beat a guy in Teofimo Lopez who just didn't come with his A game that fight, which clearly Teofimo has been impressive as a recently, coming through against undisputed Josh Taylor. But what I will say is that I'm not that impressed by Devin Haney's resume as everybody else is. I think that he lost his last fight against Vasily Lomachenko. Now, many people I've heard said that, look, there was a lot of close rounds early in the fight, and they gave those rounds to Devin Haney, which I can see. I do think early in the fight there was a lot of close rounds, but I think in the championship rounds, which seems to have mattered a lot in what plays a big significance in boxing, I think that Loma dominated those championship rounds. I think the other rounds were edge for edge, but I think Loma dominated the championship rounds. And I literally thought they were going to give that to him, and they gave it to Haney, unanimous decision, which I think is one of the biggest robberies I've ever seen. Just watching a fight, I think it's one of the biggest I think it's one of the biggest robberies. Now, I mean, look, people thought that Devin Haney was, we hear comparisons to Floyd and defensively, and he got exposed defensively last fight. Um, I think that he's really had only one true, bout against an opponent where he really, protected that undisputed, title. I think the first one, the second one against Kambosos wasn't a true, protection of of his title, of his rep. We all expected him to beat Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't think that his resume is that impressive. We see he he fought a washed up Gamboa. Went 12 with him, and we've seen a lot of guys beat Gamboa as of recently. I think he's one of the most washed fighters in this era of boxing. Um, George Linares, who is a legend in the sport, but you know, old, pretty old. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty old now. I think that was for an interim, and George Linares was able to touch that chin a little bit, man, and make Haney shiver. So when I'm looking at this fight going into it, I'm looking at it. I think that Regis can give him a lot of issues, man. Now he's moving up to Regis's division. This is like I said, this is Regis's division. He has the belt. Also, like I said, we've seen guys, in the past touch up Haney, man. Um, I'm interested now. If Haney does win this fight, it was expected for him to outbox Regis. That's just what's going to happen if he wins the fight. It's not going to be him really damaging Regis much or hurting him. It's going to be him just outboxing him for 12 rounds, and that should be Haney's goal. He doesn't have a punch of power there. I don't think that Regis has a soft chin. I think Regis is coming for revenge due to him not being that great in his last fight. Um, I also want to talk about Devin Haney and his beef with Shakur. As recently, we've seen a lot of things back to back back to back discussions with them. As of recently, all over the media, we hear Devin Haney's word, or we hear Shakur's word. So it was said that Devin Haney offered Shakur a mill, and what Shakur did is when he went and activated his mandatory. Now I feel like that's what he should have did. He should have did that in the first place. He should have did that before Devin Haney even had an opportunity to offer him the 8 mil. But that's really fair. Pretty much Devin Haney offered 8 mil, which he only offered Shakur 25%. I think that's like about 2 mil for Shakur Stevenson that he would have came out with. I think he made more in his last fight. He made more in his last fight. Obviously not the opponent, not for an undisputed title, but you know, Devin Haney isn't the highest selling guy or one of the most exciting guys to watch box. Um, I think that Shakur is just as big as him, or even bigger as a fighter, and I think that's where Shakur looked at it like, why would I, accept this offer, this low budget offer, and let me activate my mandatory and put it into the WBO and the WBC's hands and see what they do with it. And I think when you activate your mandatory, I think the split is decided by them. You know what I'm saying? So that was smart on Shakur's move, and it forced Devin Haney to make a decision, which he decided to ultimately move up to 140. Do I think he's ducking? I think he is ducking. I think that Shakur and Devin Haney is a huge fight right now. That's a huge fight. A huge fight at 135. In a fight that, clearly has some past history to it, man. We've seen Shakur come out and say that he's been having the better of Devin for a minute. We've seen videos of them sparring. We even seen leaked footage of, uh, Devin Haney's dad saying that Shakur is that guy, and that, that they'll move up. They'll move up if they have to. If Shakur comes into their division, they're gonna move up. So I mean, I think the tell is that we all know how good Shakur is. We know how good Devin Haney is, man. He's still really good. As much as I say right now, I mean, he's still a really good a fighter, man. I think the youngest undisputed champion that we had. Um, he deserves his credit for that, man. Give him his flowers for that, man. But look, man, I don't like Devin Haney's attitude, and my prediction for this fight, I think Regis wins. Do I think he knocks out Haney? Tough to see that. Tough to see that. Do I think that he lands enough shots to win the fight? Yes, I think that he lands enough shots to win the fight. I think that Haney comes out looking, a bit sharp. I think Haney comes out looking a bit sharp. Utilizing that jab and that long reach uppercut that he was able to use kind of against Loma. Some of the shots are going to be there because Regis is going to come forward, right? But like I said, I think Regis lands enough shots to win this fight. I don't know if it will be in KO. It's hard for me seeing that. But if it is, I won't say I would be super surprised. But I'm looking forward to this fight. Definitely looking forward to this fight. And if Haney loses, let's just y'all could drop in the comment section. If Haney loses this fight, what's next for him? Okay, you have Shakur fighting for, I think, what though? Either the WBO or the WBC. He's one fighting for one of them. Haney had to give up a belt with moving up. So if he loses this fight, is Shakur next? It would have to be next, right? Those is the unification, right? And it would be you trying to redeem yourself. If he wins the fight, what's next as well? So you still have Shakur Stevenson that has the other rule. He will have the other belt, I believe. We all know Shakur's gonna win that fight. So he will have the other belt, I believe, man. Do you continue to try to fight at 140, knowing that you have belts at 135 and knowing that you could lose those belts? It'll be interesting to see. So, it's interesting to see what this next move is. I've been hearing a lot of tension between him and Teofimo Lopez, which is that's a huge fight. I would love to see that fight as well. I think Teofimo Lopez is a pound for pound guy when he's locked in. But like I said, we'll be looking forward to that fight, and this is gonna be the end of our podcast, man. Like I always say, like, comment, subscribe, give us as much support as possible. We're gonna continue to do this week by week, man, and we're gonna continue to get better, man. And I have some surprises coming up for you guys soon. We're gonna try to get some guest guys on here, some guest speakers. Not gonna be super big name guys that usually like these other podcasts, but guys that know a little bit more, not a little bit more than me about sports, but know some things about sports. We might have some guest speakers come in and talk, man, and give their input and give their takes as well. But like I said, I do have some surprises for you guys coming up, man. And have a blessed day, man. Have a blessed week. Stay safe. I don't want to see anybody get into any trouble, man. Look, man, I love everybody that has liked, commented, and subscribed and has been supporting us. And for you guys that are supporting us, please just give us as much support as possible. Get your friends, family, anybody, associates to tap in, people you work with. It doesn't matter. Please give them the tap in, man. We're trying to run it up. But yeah, this is gonna be the end of the podcast, and we'll see you next week.
You broke out, ain't shit wanna be. I got drugs like it's a 9. Pull up, fucking that live with that line. Blood gang ripping that set to his time. Dope bad nigga, cause I'm meant for a dime. Saw my cooking that wood to my palm. Great ace, who got the dream from my mom. You doing that bitch like I'm foul. Go to my gang, nigga. You and your folks are the same, nigga. The word and rest of that pain, nigga.